Hi there, thank you very much for joining me again on this week's episode of Love Code on YouTube. I'm so excited that you keep coming back week after week to watch my videos. Thank you very much. And if this is your very first time of watching any of my videos at all, you're also very welcome. You can start out by just clicking on the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything from here on. Thank you once again for joining me this week on Love Code on YouTube. And this week I want to talk about 12 ways to make your spouse feel special every day. So 12 simple things that you can do every single day to make your spouse feel a little bit better and just feel a little bit special. One of the reasons why we're married is to help our spouses, to help them be better people, to make them more confident in themselves, and these are just simple things that you can do. And the good thing is when you do some of these things, it's not just about doing it for your spouse. It always comes back to you in the form of a pleasant, happy spouse. The Bible speaks about the fact that it's not okay to dwell with a nagging woman in the house. It's actually better to be on the rooftop. Okay, so that's always very important, that you just help your spouse to be better towards you as well. And these are simple things. Honestly, by the time we're done, you would almost laugh at yourself, if you haven't been doing some of them, But they're simple things that we know. But sometimes we just need to put these things into perspective and be reminded of some of them. Now, the very first one I'm going to talk about is to give simple compliments. Now, what happens in marriage is something called the law of diminishing returns, and I've spoken about this before. That when you marry somebody, especially for men, because of our hunter instinct and the fact that we chase things, we are wired in such a way that we go after something, and once we have achieved victory, as it were, in that thing, it's almost as if we are looking forward to the next thing to conquer. We must fight against that when it comes to marriage. When it comes to our spouses, we have to do everything in our power to guard against that being the case. You cannot afford to have a woman at home that you marry that feels like a conquest, that you are no longer paying attention to. And simple compliments like, oh baby, you're looking good today, or when did you make this hair? This is so fabulous, you look so amazing. Little things like that. You're dressing up for church and you just whisper to the person, like, you look amazing, you're looking so good, wow, or I wish I could look like this. Just simple things like that that boosts the person's confidence. And don't be the kind of person that says, but she knows I love her, she knows she looks good, so why do I need to say it? You need to say it because it's important when it comes from you, and you don't want it to be another gentleman who is saying it via text or via emails somewhere else, or even in person. Okay, so you want to be careful with that. And even without any other person being involved, you just want to make sure that you're giving compliments to your spouse from time to time. It doesn't cost anything, honestly, and we have to remind ourselves to do this from time to time, and just to keep our spouses feeling like they're appreciated, they're still loved, they're still within our thoughts. I mean, you're at work, you are at lunch, just remember your spouse and send a message. You used to do this before you got married, so it's okay to still do it. All right, so give compliments, and don't expect to have it in return. So don't say, oh, but she doesn't do the same thing. That's not the issue. The issue is you do it. All right, so don't try to do only the things that your spouse is reciprocating. If you do it long enough and well enough, your spouse will pick up on it, and it will change the atmosphere in your home. It's very simple. The next one is to surprise your spouse from time to time, depending on what they like. From time to time, surprise your spouse with gifts, right? It doesn't have to be birthday. It does not have to be Mother's Day. It doesn't have to be. It does not have to. I remember once I had a cake made that just says "just because," So you can do that from time to time and just surprise your spouse and just do something pleasant. Do a takeout. If you feel like it's too stressful for your spouse to cook or to do anything, you can do takeout. You can just make it a surprise from time to time and just do that. And I know some people don't like surprises, right? But everybody likes a pleasant surprise. That's what I like to say. People don't like surprises when they don't turn out exciting enough. I mean, but you can't tell me that you don't like surprise. Somebody buys you a brand new Land Rover. You won't say that you don't like surprises. Okay, so everybody likes a pleasant surprise. So from time to time, from within your means or what you can afford, simple things. It doesn't have to be expensive things. A necklace, earring, something simple that maybe you look around the house and you see that she's struggling with one particular thing, or that she doesn't have, or maybe something that she uses often is about to finish. Before she even thinks about it, go ahead and order that thing and bring it in and tell, babe, I just thought to buy you this. I saw that your stock was running out. Just little things that show that you are still thinking about them regularly. That is extremely important. Now, I know people have made a lot of issue out of breakfast in bed, but it's still a thing. Okay, if it's something you can do, can still, before your spouse wakes up, if this works for you, depending on who wakes up first and how your life is planned, you can do that and just make something simple and just say, okay, you know what, today, kids, don't disturb your mom. It's anything you want, you come to me, right? You can do little things like that. That just, I know I'm saying this from the man's perspective because I'm a guy. So if you're a lady and you're listening, you interpret it, the other way around, all right? Well, I can present this as a guy, but you interpret it. So you can also do that for your husband. It doesn't have to be just the guys now, okay? But I would talk primarily from the guy's point of view here. Number 3, listen. Now, a lot has been made about talking in the marriage, but there's also an important art of listening to the people that we are married to, our spouses. Listen. Don't just talk all the time. You have to take some time to listen to them. Let your spouse rant. See, if your spouse is upset, you don't expect that it will be somebody outside that they will be talking to. Let them rant, and you listen to the rant. I mean, that's what you signed up for. So listen without interrupting, and let the person express themselves, and be themselves around you, and not feel like they have to walk on eggshells where you are. Be a listening ear, so that when something is really bothering your spouse and they need somebody to talk to, they are not looking for somebody outside of your marriage, but they are looking for you in particular, right, to talk to. And that is extremely, very, very important here. Don't interrupt them when they are talking. Don't interrupt your spouse when they are talking. Just listen, and be a listening ear. And then when it's time for you to say something or to contribute something and say, okay, what do you think about it? Then you can talk, right? But it's so important to listen, especially for women. The women are concerned. Women want to talk to you. They want you to be a listening ear. So don't just be all about work and, you don't even have time to just hear them out and hear what they have to say and their own perspective, or the things that they are going through, where they're coming from. So this is also extremely important. The next one is massage. Okay, don't forget, we're talking about 12 ways to make your spouse feel special every single day. Everybody loves a good massage. Every single person loves a good massage, and the best person to give you a massage is the person that you spend your intimate moments with. Okay, so feel free to take off your shirts or take off your clothes and massage your spouse from time to time, especially when you know that this person has been through something really, really tough, or been working all day, or stressed in the kitchen, or something like that, that that the person actually now tells you that my back is aching me. That's a clue. It's not just a complaint. It's a clue for you to know that you need to do your job, okay? Which is to help the person feel better. Get some oil on your hand and massage the person. And all we're asking you to do is to massage, nothing else, okay? Especially for men, because once massage starts, you want to divert it to something else. Massage, all right? That's all we're asking you to do, okay? Massage the person and just make them feel good. And don't let it look like it is something you are doing to get another reward, if you understand what I'm talking about, all right? So help your spouse that way and just help them feel better. And if you can afford it, buy a massage chair. Why not? As a gift, just say, babe, I just see that, every time you need this massage, okay, I will buy you this, as a gift. And do that. I mean, these are things that are just being thoughtful, especially if you can afford to do it, all right? I'm not saying if you can't afford it, you have to go out of your way. But if you can afford to do it, why not, right? It's just things that show your partner that you are still thinking about them, because that's the bottom line of most of the issues that we have in relationships, is that people feel like they're neglected. Spouses feel like the partners are no longer paying attention to them. So you want to put this into consideration and try to do it as much as you can, all right? Number 5, you need to be selfless. You need to be selfless. Be selfless with little things and be selfless with big things as well. you want to try, do your best to be selfless. Be selfless with little things, like the remote control. I mean, couples, too many couples fight over remotes, like what channel to watch. You're always watching this, I'm always watching this. So they now have different TVs, so that this one you watch your own, I'm going to watch my own, right? There's sometimes that you need to just defer to the other person, right? Get involved in what they like to do as well. So your partner is always watching soccer. Try to understand what they are watching. I watch it with them. I remember, it's been years now since we watched regular TV in our house, because we just made a decision which is unique to us, okay? It's not a doctrine, right? We just made a decision that we don't want to watch regular cable anymore. But when we used to watch regular cable, now we just watch a particular Christian channel. That's all we watch in our house now, except when my kids are watching YouTube or when I'm watching, soccer. But when we used to watch cable, this is the point I'm trying to make, is we made this decision that, like for instance, she used to watch HGTV, which was Home Improvement channel, a lot. I got involved with that. I got involved with the cooking thing, and I will watch it with her, right? And then when it's time to watch soccer, she has to watch too. So she will watch Man City, and she understands, she knows all the players. When Vincent Company was leaving, she was almost crying. Oh, he's leaving. I'm like, when did you join Man City? It just shows that you are paying attention, and you are interested in the same things that your spouse is interested in, and you guys can live cordially together that way. And it's not all, just brawling all the time. Where did you put the remote? Why are you hiding it? Because you don't want me to change the channel, and people are fighting over remote control. And the one that is even funny is food, where people cannot be selfless when it comes to food. Women like to share men's food. It's a universal fact. Whether they have their own or they don't have their own, it's an expression of love. To them, it's just a way of showing that I love you. So they can put their own food here, yours is here, you are eating together. They will be reaching across the table to eat out of your own. I'm like, what is the problem? Can't you eat your own food? Because she says there's love in sharing, and I will tell her there's peace in having your own. All right, so. But you want to understand that, it's just an act of love for them, right? They just feel like they feel better that way. They feel, closer to you. So you want to be selfless. If you have 2 pieces of meat, and let's say there's 1 piece of meat, there's a final piece of meat here in the pot, and only 1 person can have it. Let's say you can't cut it or share, whatever it is. Only 1 person can have it. Are you able to defer to your partner to say, you know what, you can have that. I'll be fine, right? Or you want to say, I'm the man in this house, so you have to give me the meat, So the little things like that just show your partner that you still feel like they're special to you, you still care about them, and you still actually love them. And this is love in action that we're talking about. It's not just love in theory, all right? So that's very, very important. The next one, and we're up to number 6 now, so thank you for staying with me so far. I hope this has really been enjoyable to you. I hope you are learning 1 or 2 things from this. It's are simple things, like I said at the start, but they're very important things. They're things that, little things like this, always make a big difference in our homes and in our marriages. Okay, number 6 here. Hold your spouse's hand. Hold your spouse's hand, especially in public. Don't be afraid of holding your spouse's hand. For people that come from the kind of culture that I come from, it might be hard for some people, where you've been trained to feel like the man, like the macho man, like you don't have to be emotional about anything, right? But holding your spouse's hand is just a show of affection to them. Just makes them feel like that you still care about them, and this goes for other public display of affection, as well, right? Show public affection to your spouse. Kiss them goodbye. You are outside in public. Doesn't mean that you can't. When you were dating, you used to do this, and that's what is interesting, is that people are dating, they do things that all sorts of different things. But when it's time, when they get married, that they now have permission to do all sorts of things, they stop doing them. So you want to show public affection to your spouse, kiss them goodbye in the open, hug them, in the open. People might look and stare. That's their problem. This is your wife. It's about you and her, and it is what you build in her that you will get when you go back home. So you want to build confidence and trust, and that thing in her that lets her know that this guy is still crazy about me, and I'm the only one that he sees. He's not looking around, and he's focused on me. That is very important to women. Okay. Number 7, give non-sexual touch all day long. Non-sexual touch, and I have to make this clear because I'm talking to guys now. Non-sexual touch is very important to women. Don't let, now this is the way I wrote it, don't let sex be the only reason you get close to your spouse. This is crucial. Don't let, now, if it ever comes to the point where the moment you touch your wife, she automatically thinks you want sex, then it means you are doing something wrong. it means you are not giving enough touch. You are not giving, enough non-sexual touch every day or every throughout the day. So when you now want to touch her, she feels like, hey, this guy wants sex again. That's really wrong. So you have to make it a habit where you hug your spouse regularly. Now in my house there's an unspoken rule, like the way we even hug is with my kids, with my wife. Like if I'm going out, my wife is going out, you come back in, we are hugging all the time, we are touching all the time, just to make everybody feel the atmosphere of love and warmth. And that is very, very important, especially between you and your spouse. You see your spouse in the morning, don't just walk past or say, no man, hug your spouse, ask them how was your night, talk about things and be close to your spouse. If you are sitting close to them on the dining table, play around. Not everything is serious and you are looking, you can't even use your legs under the dining table and play around a little bit. You don't be all stuck up. That's the way you make the person still feel young. No matter how old you guys are in your relationship, you still feel young. You feel excited about the whole relationship when your partner is that way. All right, and touch your partner from time to time. Hug them. Make them feel like women need a lot of non-sexual touch. All day long. And you will get the reward, later on in the night. I won't say too much about that. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so say I love you often. That's another one. That's number 8 that I have here. Say I love you often. Make it a habit to always say it. And when it begins to feel like you are just saying it because you always say it, add some things to it. I really love you. I love you very much. I will always love you. Say it in different ways so that they understand that you are still putting some thought into it. It's not just the cliche way of, after a phone call, love you, bye, and you hang up, right? Which is good. That is also part of it. You have to make it an unspoken rule that you don't hang up without telling your spouse you love them. It might not always happen all the time, depending on the kind of conversation you just had. But even when you've had a very tough conversation, you can still say you love them so that they know that what you are saying is still coming from a place of love. It's not just out of bitterness or you're just upset, but you still tell them you love them. So that's important. Say it regularly. Women want to hear this a lot. Women want to hear this all the time. They want to know that you still love them. Don't let your wife be asking you, do you still love me? There's a problem. When things get that far, something is wrong. All right? The next one is to forgive easily. Forgive easily. Don't hold on to little things. Don't make a big deal out of little things. These are the things that make relationships full of tension. Don't let the sun go down on your route. Make it a rule in your house. We have so many unspoken rules, my wife and I. That it's not like we have said this is what it's going to be, but it's just things that we know that this is how this is supposed to be, and we will do our best to make sure that if there's an argument, there's something that is wrong, we talk about it. Don't go to bed, and we've all done it, where we just feel like, this one, I'm not going to talk. It's not me. She's wrong, she has to come and tell me sorry, and then you go to bed that way. I mean, that's the way things get bottled up, and you just feel like that atmosphere in your house, everything just changes, right? So you want to try as much as you can. There have been times when I've tried to leave my wife in that kind of state, and I've tried to pray, and as I start, I just know that bro, you're deceiving yourself. This is your prayer. It's hypocrisy. You have to go and sort out your wife first, and then I will do my best to just come around and just find some conversation and find a way in. So that's important. Even if you have to take the back door sometimes, and because some men don't want to come straight and say, oh, I'm sorry, just talk, have a conversation and say, okay, that thing that you did, I didn't really like it, but I should also have done what I did. You guys make up. You know how it works for you, you know what it is, but always do your best to always make up. That the fact that you are always the first person to make up doesn't make you any weaker. It doesn't make, in fact, it means that you are the stronger one. Okay, so you want to make this something that is very important to your family, that you forgive easily. Don't keep malice. Malice is childish. I mean, we can't start to preach about that. It's childish. It's just a childish thing at this point to still be keeping malice with your spouse, right? Yeah, I'm not going to talk to her. I mean, these things, and there's couples still do that. So it's not like I'm just people still do that where they're not speaking with their spouse, and you ask them, say, we're not on speaking terms with your spouse. That's not something that you want to be doing. Okay, that's not a good example that you want to be setting with for your children. To say we're not on speaking terms. You're telling your friends that, okay, me and John, we're not on speaking terms. I don't think that's something that a Christian should be involved in. Okay, so that's number 9. Okay, we are 3 to go. We're almost there. Number 10 is make your spouse laugh from time to time. Make your spouse laugh from time to time. I know you are not a stand-up comedian. You probably don't have the best of the sense of humor, but whenever you have an opportunity, you see a joke that in conversation, there's always entry points for jokes in conversation. If it comes to you, don't hold it back. Make the person laugh. If you find something that they are doing, not at their expense, it's you are trying to make your spouse feel better. It's not at your spouse's expense, okay? But if you see something that is interesting that you need to share with them, that will make them laugh or make them feel better, do it, right? And if you are blessed with a good sense of humor, then you make the best use of it. Don't try to use your sense of humor outside your home more than you do inside your home. You should be making your spouse feel better by making them laugh. Just make it easy in your home to talk, to share things by letting it be an atmosphere of laughter, of fun, of joy. And if there's something that you can share that will make your spouse laugh, please do it. And from time to time, let them laugh. All right. Number 11, plan dates. Plan dates. This is another thing that people stop to do once they get married. Right? They feel like dating season is over, but now in marriage things have to be serious. But you still have a relationship with your spouse. Don't forget that there's going to come a time when all of these children activities are going to go away. Your children are going to be older. They will go out of your home. My parents now, they are by themselves because all the kids were out of the house, right? Everybody has their family, so they are now by themselves together. So if they haven't built a relationship, now's the time that it will become obvious. So that time is coming when it will be you and your spouse. So you want to make sure that before that time comes, you guys have an actual relationship. And one of the ways you keep that going is to plan dates. And I'm saying plan because I know it won't come naturally. You will need to plan it now. You will need to sit down and say, this is, and my wife is really good at that with helping her, and I thank God for her because she will plan, literally plan date nights and family nights on calendar on my Outlook, and it will come to me as an email to say you have a date night or a family night, and it's important. It helps me because the way I think, I'm at work constantly and I'm thinking about work, and I'm using my calendar as well. So I see that there and I know, okay, this day you can't put anything here. This is, family day. This is, date night. So that's also very vital, and it helps you to keep your relationship fresh, keep things strong, keep things exciting, and you are not just, following the routine as it is, and things are being swept under the carpet, and your relationship is struggling. All right. So marriage should not be the end of dating, but the beginning. All right. Plan these things. Plan it out. All right. Finally, volunteer for acts of service in the house. Volunteer for acts of service in the house. I know we've talked about love languages, and it almost sounds as if every human being has only one love language, but that's not true. Don't just focus on one love language alone. Everybody loves some help, especially if your wife is the one doing all the help in the house. You want to, one of the best love languages is acts of service. Everybody likes that, So you can't just say I have only one love language, or my wife only loves gifts, so only gifts is what I'm going to be doing. Every human being loves gifts. Every human being loves attention. All those things are common. It's just that there's one that is predominant. All right. But this act of service is you want to make sure that your wife is not burdened with all of the work that they're doing. I know you also go to work and you want to justify it by saying, but I'm also working. Does she know what I do at work? You know what I'm doing too, right? But this family, you guys are raising it together. You're building a home together. So you want to help her as much as you can to make sure that she's not overwhelmed. She is not, she doesn't feel like it's a burden to her, this housekeeping thing, right? Where children is only her who does everything with the children. She's the only one who, once in a while when you are available to do it, make the effort and let her see that, okay, at least he's available today, and then she can see the difference, So volunteer around the house and help out, with little things. She needs to, I forgot to get something from the store, whatever it is. Volunteer to go back to the store and get it for her. Say, okay, I forgot to return this or whatever it is I want to do it for her. She comes back from the grocery store, she's trying to pick things, go into the car, get it. Tell her, don't worry, I will do that for you. Little things like that. If we do this constantly, and I'm saying we because every single one of us needs to keep constantly working on our relationships and on our marriages. And if we do this, we'll find out that things will be easier. A lot of things will be easier. And some of the conflicts that we have will be lessened. It will be easier to get along with one another, and things will generally be easier in our homes and in our marriages. All right. So I hope you've been blessed by this. I hope this was this was enlightening to you in one way or the other, and you found one or two things that you can actually implement and practice from this. You can share the video with somebody else and let them also be a part of this as well. One of the easiest ways to do that is simply to like the video. Many people don't understand that just by liking a video, you're letting YouTube know that they should recommend the video to somebody else. So that's the easiest way to actually share it. So if you like the video, then go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're not really overly excited about it, for one reason or the other, still like the video. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything. All right, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and make sure you enable your notifications so that you know when I have a new video out. I usually have new videos out on Sundays at 6 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. I have a new video out every week. Until I see you again next week, thank you very much and God bless you.